chat, share live. Yes, can hear you both. Thank you so much. And the personal stories, welcome the first guest is Get to Know. He is a survivor and an advocate. Get to Know is from Idaho. He has a beautiful wife and two amazing kids, but she will say a little bit differently about that in a minute. He'll correct me there. Get to Know has been sexually abused as a child. He now speaks out against pedophilia. Without further ado, welcome, Get to Know.
Thank you, Darlene. How are you today?
Oh, just fair to Midland, I suppose. How about you?
I'm alive and breathing. I'm not going to be complaining, I guess.
Well, I told them that you would change the words from he has a beautiful wife and two amazing kids. He'll say something differently. So I'll let you correct me on that, okay?
Now, what's that? Sorry.
You have the best amazing, most amazing wife from everyone.
Oh, I do. My wife is my. Oh, let's put it simple. She's the most amazing person that's walked the face of this earth in the history of the earth. My kids are 100% amazing. I just, I got real lucky in a couple of those departments. You know what I mean?
Yes. So if you want to go ahead and start discussing it from the beginning of your life, what had happened to you, and such as, if you don't mind, because they need to know that it was not actually your parents who did this; it was someone else.
Correct. It was my. I was molested and raped by my dad's best friend / cousin. Starting this summer, I turned 5. I don't remember if it started after I turned 5 or right before I turned 5, but the summer I turned 5. And it stopped basically when I started growing pubic hair, right before I turned 11 or 12. I mean, right before I turned 12. I don't want to get into too many graphics right here. I mean, I've told my story on multiple platforms before, and it's not something that's easy for me to talk about, really. I mean, people say it should be easy to deal with and whatever and whatnot, and different people do things differently and handle things differently. So, like, I thought I was okay with the abuse after I confronted him and whatnot. And years later down the road, come to find out, I wasn't okay with what's going on. So, life's been tough. Go ahead.
She said you're a little bit low, so trying to turn the volume up as high as I can, but I can't go any higher than what I am.
Okay, well, I tried using my phone, but for some reason it kept on saying that I didn't have enough credits to call you, and I don't understand that because I don't know. So I'm using my wife's phone, and I don't know. Can you hear me any better now?
Did you hear? Put a one in if you can hear it better now.
Get the volume up.
It's all the way up, baby.
Well, surefire way that you could hear them, and you could actually call the phone number that I've given you, and you could actually call in and listen to them and hear them clearly if you like. The number is 515-602-9624. Again, the number is 515-602-9624.
I just want to give a shout out to all my community members that are here from YouTube. Opus Angel, thank you for being here. Steppers, thank you for being here. James Chapman, thank you for being here. It Matters, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys' support. Sugar Glider, bringing it up in the background. I love you guys. Much respect. Thank you for being here.
Okay, I'm going to try to get it to that Blogtalk radio thing and see if they can hear it that way any better.
Okay.
But I'm afraid of doing that because I'm afraid that it might cause echoing.
Right. Are you on your phone or are you on your laptop with Blogtalk, Darlene?
call straight from my phone also.
Okay, do you have Messenger on your laptop? Oh, I don't know if it works. I was just gonna say you could call me on my phone for Messenger. It should be louder that way, but
Well, I'm going to try to fix it out with this other way by putting. You're quite welcome. I'm going to share screen, and I'm going to change the setting with the audio, where I can do the stereo echo count. Okay. Share this entire screen, or we can go over there to that website now. Okay, let's try that now. Okay.
Opus Angel says the sound is good. They can hear all three. They can hear both of us, so we're good, I think.
Okay, let's try that now. Okay. Opus Angel. I think it's going to cause me a little bit of trouble in between. I think it's going to echo from me, so it's going to be bad.
What's up, Deb Zay? Thanks for being here. Really appreciate your support.
Yeah, I think it's echoing so bad. I'm going to put the drop down link so people can go directly also to, there
Okay.
and listen to it. And maybe that would help.
Everybody's saying the
I'm
sound.
sure that it will cause
Everybody's saying the
voiceover.
sound. Everybody's saying the sound is fine, Darlene.
Yeah. And then I stop the screen and change the settings back to the audio. Take it back there to that. Okay. So there's the link to his, and he's also got the live on his channel as well if y'all follow him. Is anybody complaining any bleed over on your end? The beautiful wife
Nope.
to a patient,
Now we just got real loud.
So I'll let you correct me on that, okay?
I don't know what that was about. That was weird.
Yeah, that was me at that time.
No echo or feedback. It's all good, says Opus Angel.
Yeah, if I'm over there at that time, it gives me feedback, so I tried to work that out with there. Can you hear it okay where you're done? Okay, let's get back to your story then, all right?
Okay. So after a lot of people don't consider the impact that this type of abuse has on people, after it's over and done with. And
Hey, wait a minute. You did say that it worked with you before on Messenger. You call that way?
yeah, you can call me on Messenger. I think my phone would be better if you could call me on Messenger.
Because it's got some kind of problem, okay?
What's that?
Because it's got, well, the bad thing is, you'll be able to hear me. You'll be able to hear, but it's still the fact about being over there at Blogtalk and it being recorded there, because we want to make sure it's being recorded as well.
Okay. So what do you want me to do? You want me to hang up with you and then call back on Messenger?
Yeah, for some reason it's kind of bleed over. I mean, it's got something going on. It's a little difficult. Like I said, people may call 515-602-9624. And I know there is a way to call right here, and I can see if it works out that way, but I'm afraid that it might mess something up. Okay, you can hang up and I'll try. Which number do you want me to...
Just call me. Just if you can call me on Messenger, that'd be best. I bet.
I don't know if it's going to allow me to put you on the air They're also at,
Well, everybody on my end says it's okay. It sounds okay. So.
everybody on your end says it's okay on
Yep.
okay.
No echo, no feedback.
All right.
It's all good.
Oh, okay. It's all good there?
Yep, all good.
Well, that's good.
We're cruising.
All right, so let's just go on ahead. If it's doing good on your end, it's not doing too good on my end. So go ahead.
Okay, so
When you were 5-year-old, that's when.
the abuse started. Yes. They said that they can hear. They said that they can hear you just fine too, Darlean.
All right.
So, but yeah, the abuse started when I was 5 years old. It was my dad's cousin / best friend. My parents had no idea that the abuse was going on. My parents would go overnight places all the time, and he would stay behind and watch us kids. You know what I mean? So, I know that I wasn't his only victim, and I know I wasn't his last victim. The abuse started. The abuse stopped after I started growing pubic hair because the way I figured it is I no longer turned him on. So he was on to the next one, on to his next victim. He was convicted one time before this. My parents had no idea about it. Didn't do much time at all.
They didn't do much time at all?
Not much time at all. Actually, he didn't do any time, if you want to get technical, in prison. At the time that he got convicted for his charge, the Vietnam War was going on. So they were making plea bargains for anybody that was committing felonies at the time. They would give them the option to drop their felonies if they enlisted in to go to war. So he said he'd take the deal. He took the deal and went off to boot camp. Well, when he got to boot camp, he went in and told whoever they are, that his counselor or whatever person it is, that he was a homosexual. And so they gave him, they discharged him because at that time they weren't allowed to have homosexuals in the military. So since he enlisted to go, like his plea bargain, his deal said, like he, in his agreement with his deal, he fulfilled what he was supposed to do. So he enlisted and he got discharged and came home and kept on his way. That's kind of my driving force right there behind what my channel is about. I'd like to focus more on that than the abuse. You know what I mean? Like I deal with it. I deal with it on.
But the reason why we're getting to the background of it to show the people
Right.
that you do understand when you're talking about pedophilia and stuff. The reason why we went back and made sure to say a little bit about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got to hear that. Everybody
know that you endured this yourself, that they're not just going like this and getting mad about something and discussing that you've got a purpose behind this.
Yes.
And we can go on the other part now if you want to. I just wanted to touch base and let them know that you know what you are talking about.
Right. And I understand that. I mean, I get that. Everybody's got to have that backstory, so it answers those questions before they get answered. Well, why are you doing this? How come you're here? Why, blah, 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 So it works, But my wife is also a survivor of sexual abuse. She was abused by her stepdad for quite a few years. He ended up getting busted by the police, and he went to court, and there was my wife and 5 other girls, babe, or 4. There was my wife and 5 other girls that gave testimony about his abuse, and He ended up walking out of the courtroom just because none of them had physical, actual evidence that it happened. So he walked out of the courtroom. My wife ended up losing her mom over it. Her mom took her stepdad's side and sat by him in the courtroom and whatnot. So that's another driving force behind the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. Not just because we're both survivors, but the legal system is such a joke, and it's so pathetic on how these parasites get sentenced. It's horrible, and it's not okay. And I'm set out to make a difference and make that change. So
I like how I think it was Texas or was it Florida? But I believe it's Texas where they let's just say it's that. Is he in Florida? Ron DeSantis, they got a thing where it's passing a law where pedophilia can't get the death penalty there.
yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't read that. I know that Florida just passed in their legislation to mandate sex crimes, sexual abuse towards children, that they can actually face the death penalty now in Florida. So that's good. That's another thing we're fighting for over on my. That's another thing we'd like to see changed. The laws and the penalties, they're so light. Like my brother-in-law, just like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, just got sentenced in a federal court to 31 combined total years in prison for drug trafficking. And it's fixed. He's going to do 31 years, 26 state years or 26 federal years and 5 state years of his life. And he's older than me by a few years. So by the time he gets out, he'll be 70 something years old. There was a parasite that was in court that same day, and I watched the judge hand down one of the most ridiculous sentences that I've ever personally heard happening. This parasite was being sentenced his 5th time for production of child pornography, distribution of child pornography, and receiving child pornography. And remember, this was his 5th time in court, so he was going back to prison for a fifth time for the same charges, basically, and he got 5 years. Anybody see a problem with that? I do. I'm not condoning drug trafficking. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm doing here. That's not what this is about. So don't misconstrue shit, or don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? So.
Yes.
Hello?
You got a caller here that wants to ask a question.
Okay.
This is a real important question, and I hope you understand what I mean. A lot of times people will use how kids are bad nowadays to justify mistreating kids. I even heard of a person on YouTube do the same thing to try to say that child abuse is none of our business. About how bad kids are nowadays, their lack of respect and all that stuff. They use how bad kids now are nowadays and their lack of respect to justify child abuse. Have you seen that with, I hope you haven't seen that with pedophilia or anything like that.
You hope what now? Sorry?
People are starting to use that with everything.
Can you repeat that? I didn't quite hear you.
Well, people have been using how bad kids are nowadays to justify mistreating them.
Right. Right.
And they don't use with them. It doesn't depend on the situation. It doesn't depend on the child. They just lump them all together and say that they're bad nowadays. So it's almost like they're trying to use whatever they can to justify mistreating them. And I'm hoping that I'm just really hoping that no one did that as far as your case or as far as anybody else's case as far as pedophilia, because that would just show how low we've gone as a society.
Well, then I wish I knew your name. I didn't hear your name, so
My name's Khalil.
Khalil.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm telling you right now, Khalil. Then strap on your seatbelt because our society is heading in that direction right now, and that's no joke. The way things are, the way people. Go ahead.
It's like just because kids are bad now, it doesn't mean we mistreat them.
Right.
Know?
Right.
That's a really bad thing to just use that for every single situation, not know the situation either.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Like, just because the kid misbehaves or whatever, they shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't mistreat a child. Like, there's too many kids that are coming up. They're coming up, murdered and missing, and our society is in a really bad situation right now, and it's only getting worse with the way everybody wants. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything against transgender people or homosexual people or anybody in particular, but with the way people are today, that like there's two genders. I'm sorry, there's two genders. There's male and female, and like just because I decided to wake up one day and just, okay, so I want to identify as a parking cone, like
A what?
a parking cone, a street light, a street lamp. You know what I mean? I want to identify as, but you know what I mean? You can throw anything in there that you want to, but just because I want to identify as that don't mean that we're all, that everybody's going to identify you as that. Like, we started going downhill when we started giving kids participation trophies, and it's just been going downhill since then. That's my belief. It's just all messed up, and unfortunately, in this confusion. And there you go. Debs A says a tree. I identify as a tree today. So, you know what I mean? So everybody accept that and deal with it and get on with your life. And it's I don't even know the word for it.
They went ahead and left. I didn't boot him or nothing. He left on his own. I guess we got what he said. But one thing I was wanting to elaborate on what the question is, he's basically asking that can we get abused? How they always say that once you're abused, you will be from an abuser as well, that we're bad people because of it.
Oh.
They try to say that we're a bad kid, and they're hoping that the kids and stuff who was sexually abused and stuff do not get labeled as pedophilia or, and be treated as we're pedophiles just because we're going like that and told and we tell. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, I understand.
That's what he's saying. And a lot of us who have been sexually abused, we do not turn back around, and we are not using that thing saying, oh, we're a pedophile, we're going to be a pedophile, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Oh, hell no. We're going to stand up and we're going to be...
Right.
Excellent.
I mean, back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the number of people that were sexually abused turned around to be pedophiles was a lot lower than it is today. And I mean, it's understandable why that number keeps climbing up higher and higher and higher, because there's more and more kids that are being abused, so that number keeps getting higher. So of course, that percentage of people who were abused or children who were abused to grow up to be pedophiles is obviously going to grow higher. I mean, it's inevitable. And like right now in the United States, we're sitting at 81% of the United States population has been sexually abused in their lifetime. 81% of 370 million people in the United States, 81% of that has been sexually abused at one point in time in their life. And it's just getting higher and higher. And people would rather...
I knew of somebody that had been SA, sexual abuse, and he's in his 80s, and he did not remember any of the SA until it was just like about 2 or 3 years ago, and he's in his 80s. He did not remember till after he turned 80,
Yeah.
And it was somebody else that brought up about them being attacked around Thanksgiving that brought his attack up. That's what stirred and made him remember, that and had that flashback, because I guess that was probably around the time that happened to him.
Yeah. And like, people don't understand that, like, oh, well, I'm keeping my kids safe, but you hand them a cell phone and a laptop and a tablet, and you let them go on their merry way. I mean, there's parents out there that monitor their kids, what their kids are doing on the internet, but every 2 seconds or every 2 minutes in the United States, some kid is getting on the internet and talking to somebody who's trying to traffic them and, like, take them from their home and traffic them and make money off of them. Every 2 minutes, somebody is going after a child on the internet to traffic them. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. There's no other.
It is. And they're using these platforms for kids games, and there's even YouTube Kids that these adults are getting in. If you ever watched any of the kids cartoons,
oh yeah,
they exploit.
Oh yeah,
and they show these essential things for our kids. I remember one time when my kids were younger, I was still married back then, but I walked out of the house and it was trusting near me. And I walked back in the house and I could not believe that they were saying the F-bomb on these people, for kids and stuff like that. And I was like, what? That really got me there,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'd have freaked out.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
And that's a big to do, when you leave the kids around, something like that, and you just go outside to work out in the garden a little bit, you walk back in and like, what?
Yep. Opus Angel just posted a comment on my YouTube channel. She said, the predators are given special treatment, living a safe life because they cannot be touched. It is so true. It is so true. It's ridiculous. Like, children are.
You could see where I did that live the other day on my YouTube channel where DCS and Tennessee, where they were audited and stuff, and this was back December this past year, and they had let this one guy in charge of, and he done physically abused some of these kids so bad that they had to be taken to the hospital for treatment, and yet they kept him as a employee, and then later on he even got another job where he had direct contact with the children, even more so, like in the children's home, DCS children. Well,
right.
The kids tried to escape from it, and you know what he did?
What's that?
He started shooting a gun at these kids escaping. In Tennessee.
Wow. And
so I had to get that word out there and say these parents, they need to sue this place because it's a governmental thing, and the kids are already victimized out of the home for probably sexual stuff, child abuse. There's another one on that they had to endure, and now this person that's over them at DCS is shooting a gun at them.
That's crazy.
And you know what? He did finally get arrested and such as that, but I still think that they're just as much to blame because they kept him hired there, knowing that he physically harmed some of these other children in the past.
Wow. I was reading an article the other day about there's one teacher a day, one teacher or assistant teacher, principal, somebody associated with the school district, legitimately one teacher a day gets arrested in this country for having intercourse with one of their students. 365 teachers a year get convicted on this charge. I know that number don't seem like much, but you got to remember, like, these are low numbers. This is only these are only the ones that get caught and get sentenced. There was one of these parasites that I read about. He was a school teacher. I think he was an elementary school teacher. He went from he had some accusations come up against him about abusing a child, and they fired him. He went on his way. He went to a different school district, got a job. Same thing happened. Like, he ended up getting fired. He ended up getting fired, and he went to another school district. And finally, after he went to the third school district, and the same charges came up against him. He they finally arrested him and charged him with a few different charges, and he's going to do like maybe a couple years in prison for violating who knows how many children. It's just ridiculous, man.
Have you ever checked out, has any of y'all, ask the people there, have they heard about the Grant Solomon case there at YouTube?
I don't think so.
See how many of them have heard of that. The daddy worked as a news anchorman, and we went to this certain church over there in Franklin.
Nope, I haven't heard about it.
He essayed his daughter, and the judge goes to that same church he goes to, and she's married to a state representative, some type of state senator or whatever. Their last names are Johnson. They're out of Franklin, Tennessee, and Governor Bill Lee also attends that same church, but nothing is being done to Daddy for raping. And then they went ahead, the judge did, and said that the mother cannot file any more charges against the daddy until the daughter is old enough to be, her adult herself. So Grant ended up turning 18-year-old, and he was about to speak on his sister's behalf and validate that the father did these things. And the daddy called him up to meet him somewhere, and he mysteriously is the only witness about Grant's truck running over him and killing him. But the weird thing is, the other cases in Franklin, Tennessee, the judge, there's been a 3 or 4 year old boy that was raped by the Sunday school teacher at a church, but the judge said just let it go. He'll get over time or whatever. Just let it go. Don't even prosecute the Sunday school teacher that raped him. And
yeah,
then,
they won't either.
Another school where they gang raped this girl, and the judge and that same representative are still saying just let it go, let them get over it. But they are not prosecuting these crimes, and they are, they're the lawmakers and stuff. They're just letting it slide under. What do we do when there are laws that's supposed to protect our kids? And we got people like this that are horrible. And I still said I will not vote for Governor Bill Lee because he still goes to church and he ain't done nothing to bring up prosecution, towards these people that's doing these bad acts.
Yep. I'll touch base on that too here in a minute. Hi, Inky Unplugged. I appreciate you being here, sweetheart. I really do. Means a lot to me that you're here. We only get stronger with each individual voice that keeps coming around. So Darlene was just saying asking, how do we make a change with these laws? And well, you, not to sound egotistical, but you hop on the back of someone like me and I'll drive us forward as far as I can. I'm not going to stop doing this until we make changes to the laws and penalties. And it's time.
We already got the laws here that protect, okay? We already got the law where everybody here is a mandatory reporter. But this judge basically excluded herself, and the senator basically excluded himself and said, don't bring this up, just put it to the side, don't do no more about it. And they are the lawmakers. I mean, they are the people that are supposed to go
Right.
and
So
try these people with this, and yet they're saying no.
right.
Gonna do it.
Right. So that's where someone like me, who has a loud voice and has the ambition and the motivation and the drive behind what my channel is about, to be the voice. One voice, the voice of one can be the voice of many, as long as it's loud enough. And trust me, I can get loud as hell, people. And I'm not going to stop until this comes to fruition. What I'm trying to do over on my channel, I'll get to know what I'm trying to do here. I'm going after the judges. I'm going after the prosecuting attorneys. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. When you hand down a sentence of 35 years to a person, or 31 years to a person that is trafficking drugs, which is not okay. Don't get me wrong, it's not. And you hand down a sentence of 5 years to somebody who has been caught at least 5 times, has at least 5 victims under their belt, and you give him 5 years. That's the problem. That's a problem. The judge that sentenced him should no longer be a judge. We have the power, people. That's what you guys are. That's what most people have forgotten. We have the power to make a difference. We have the power to make a difference. It's going to take more than one of us. It's going to take more than 5 of us. It's going to take more than 50 of us. But we have the power. Look, the reality of it is this. The reality of it is this. Just because these senators and governors and lawmakers and these people in positions of power, remember who they get their power from. They get their power because we give it to them. They are supposed to do what we want them to do as a whole, as a country, period. Not their own little agendas to make their own rules and what. No, that's not how this shit works, you guys. That's not how this works. We are the ones in charge. We have lost sight of that, and that's what my driving force is. I had a sheriff and a judge removed for their lack of due diligence. Hell yeah. How did that feel? Like that's awesome, Inky. That's awesome, Inky. Way to go. That's amazing. But like, they're not going to listen to one of us. They're not going to listen to 10 of us. They're not going to listen to 100 of us. We need to have the strongest voice ever and take it out. We need to make our governors and our prosecuting attorneys and our senators and our our judges, and we need to make them remember who's in charge with this shit. And when you see somebody in court get sentenced to 5 years in prison, and he has to register as a sex offender for 5 years, and he gets out in 5 years, and he's free to basically do whatever he wants. And somebody who is a drug addict or is a drug dealer goes to prison for the rest of their life. That is wrong. We need to make sure that we need to let our judges and our prosecuting attorneys know that we're paying attention to what's going on, and we are not okay with it. Remember, every time you go up for an election, well, not every time, but most of the times when you go up for an election, there's almost always, do you think this judge should be voted in? Well, if you don't think he's done his job and he's giving out these pedophiles these weak sentences, then don't vote him back into office. That's how it works. Like, we need to stand outside our city halls. We need to stand outside our Capitol buildings. We need to stand outside the White House and say, we want a change and we demand it now. Period. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. Sorry.
And to validate, I was saying people can look up Freedom for Gracie and Justice for Grant Solomon. Look up those two at YouTube and please support them. Well, Grant got murdered. And you can look at the pictures and watch all the stuff and find out all the information. And we need to make a stand and try to help Grace out to from her child sexual abuse that her father did to her.
Exactly. Like, one of the biggest problems I have with how things are taken care of in this country when it comes to sexual abuse is, first of all, there's 3 tiers to the sex offender registry. I don't believe in tiers. Yeah, there are some of them that are worse than others, and there's some of them that aren't. That's the way it goes. And I don't think there should be tiers. There should be one tier, and that's the sex offender tier. And once you get put on that sex offender tier, you stay on it for life. After all, to be fair, I don't get to put my name on a tier and say, okay, after this 10 years is over, I'm no longer a victim of sexual abuse. It don't work like that. I almost dropped an F-bomb right there, just so you know. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. There's nothing nobody can do that's going to change the fact that I have been and will forever be a victim of sexual abuse. Period. Nobody, not even God himself, can take that away from me. So if that's the reality of my life, then the reality of it is the person that sexually abused me is a sexual abuser for the rest of their life. They shouldn't be allowed to get off the sex offender registry. They should, like, people don't understand when it comes to the sex offender registry either, that if they're not on probation or parole, there is nobody that watches over them to hold them accountable for doing what they're doing or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's ridiculous. There's so many things in this country when it comes to the sexual abuse of children that is so wrong. It makes me sick to my stomach. It almost makes me not be proud. Makes me not be proud to be an American. It almost, like, legitimately, it almost does. Like, I could go off for hours on this stuff, and it's all legitimate.
Well, you standing up for me against that sexual guy across the street.
You're damn right I did. You're damn right.
I think your voice kind of helped that as well. And I want to thank you for doing that.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. I told you a long time ago.
I live across there, and I don't have to be in danger from him anymore.
Right.
But thank you for that.
Oh yeah, you know, I told you a long time ago that I got your back, sister. Like 100%, I got your back. Like, she was having a problem. She was having a problem with a transient homeless person who was staying on somebody's porch, which I fully don't understand all that, and we're not going to get into that. That's irrelevant. But he was literally being so loud and so forceful. Some of the things that he was saying to my sister and stuff, like, if I would have been there, I probably would be in jail right now. Let's just say that. So she couldn't get her police department to do jack shit about it. Oh, that's the third one. Sorry. She couldn't get her police department to do anything about it. So I called, and I live 2,200 miles away from her. Okay. And I called the police department at 2:00 in the morning and said, listen, this is going on right here, right now, and you guys need to get up off your asses and go down there and take care of this. My sister is literally in a dangerous situation right now. And after a couple months of them not doing anything, I took it upon myself to call, and within 2 days, I think, it was done and over with. Like, I don't care if you're, look, here's the short and skinny of it all, okay?
They kept letting them stay there and everything, and I think you just kept calling back because you said you would, and I think you kept calling back and said, well, you said that you would have him gone by now, and you said he's still out there doing his BS,
Yep. Okay, Inky, thanks for the support,
sweetheart.
sweetheart.
And the weird thing is, I had my front door closed, and you could hear him saying these obscenities all the way through my window. He was that loud, and that's across the street.
Yeah. Like, I could, like it was almost impossible for me to concentrate on the conversation I was having on the phone with my sister, with him yelling and screaming at the time of night it was. He was across the street, and I could hear him screaming and yelling, just all kinds of, I'm going to sodomize you, and, just all horrible, rancid garbage spewing out of his mouth. And yeah, I agree. Opus Angel says, no more excuses because the police are understaffed or underfunded. Hold them all accountable. We're paying their salary. We're paying for them to do their job. If they ain't doing their damn jobs, why the hell are we paying them? I mean, you don't go to Burger King and order a meal and then give them money and then drive off without your meal, do you? It's the same concept. Like, we're paying them to do a job that they're not doing. Like, my abuser and my wife's abuser, both at the same time. It's weird how it worked, but both of them at the same time were non-compliant on the sex offender registry. My abuser was non-compliant for like almost 18 months, a little bit over 18 months. My wife's abuser was non-compliant until the day he died. Okay. I called their police department and reported them, and they laughed at me. They basically said, "Good luck, dude." Like, what do you mean? First of all, they're registered sex offenders. Most importantly, they're breaking the law, the terms and conditions of being on the sex offender registry. Non-compliant means you're doing something wrong, that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, or you're not doing something you're supposed to be doing. Go arrest them and hold them accountable for their actions. Period. Cut and dry, plain and simple. That's how I look at it. Death sentences for pedophiles. Death sentences for pedophiles. You're right, Debs. Public servants should mean just that.
Town hall meetings and stuff like that, and show them the statistics of the times that they let all these people out, they're not doing their jobs, the times that you call, you know, and have it all in line with each other, you know what I'm saying there?
Yep, absolutely.
And then going to the county meeting, you know, that's out at the courthouse or wherever.
Yep.
And just say the facts, because a lot of it is recorded over the television and stuff.
Yep.
A lot of it is.
Go ahead.
People need to be brought aware.
Yeah. Like I've got a couple cases I've got scheduled in my calendar already. I'm gonna start looking up court cases every single day in my town, and anytime I see a sexual abuse case or a sex charge come up, I'm gonna try to sit in the courtroom, and I'm gonna demand that the judge and the prosecuting attorney hold these parasites. Almost did it again. Hold these parasites. You're lucky I love you, Darlene. You got to give me credit for no bad language. I'm gonna sit in the courtroom, and I'm gonna demand that these judges and prosecuting attorneys quit making deals with these parasites, quit slapping these parasites on the hand. And I guarantee you, if it was their child that was sexually abused, they would give them the worst sentence possible. But since it wasn't their child, like, all they want to do is get a conviction and get that money put in their bank accounts. That's all they want. That's not okay. No plea bargains for sex crimes. That's another thing we're aiming for. No plea bargains for sex crimes. Oh, well, you got these 10 charges. If you plead guilty to these 2 charges, we won't make you register as a sex offender. You'll do a year in prison and then get out and do 5 years of probation, but we'll drop the other 8 charges. Are you kidding me? No. That is so wrong on every level. The judges that sentence these parasites should be ashamed of themselves, and they should be derobed. Period. These prosecuting attorneys that are going and making these guys plea bargain. Go ahead.
Remember, like the ex-boyfriend, I didn't know that he was a pedophile until he started behaving away, and I left him, but, you know, it was very abusive. But I ended up turning it on the FBI and turning him in about seeing the child photo on his computers and everything, and they never did anything about that. And I know that he messed with 2 girls afterwards, and did you know that they went ahead and just put them on, they could let them pay a bail, a bond thing, get out of jail, and they just gave him a slap on the wrist, and I let him back out of jail. And then he went and molested 2 more girls, in which he actually went into somebody's home, and the girl woke up with him climbing into her bed, and she had a pants down.
What the?
When she had woke up, he had did all that, and they was in the bed with her. And now all he has to do is serve 10 years for that, and yet he's got these 2 previous things, and they're doing nothing about it.
Happens every day.
And just 10 years, and seriously.
Yep. Like my abuser caused me a lifetime of struggle and a lifetime of challenges that I didn't ask for. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a child. I was too worried about, like, Inky Unplugged. Let me come up on her channel. I found her the other day. I just stumbled across her channel on YouTube. We were talking about the same thing. Like I struggled to learn because when I was at school, I was always worried about other things. You know, I didn't have the focus that I needed to focus on my schoolwork. I was too focused on whether my dad was going to be drunk when I got home, or if this parasite was going to be there at some point in time during the day, so I could be raped and molested again, or which kid from which class is going to bully me today and push me around today. And so I have all these other, I got CPTSD. I got, you know what I mean? I got a slew of, just everything that I didn't ask for that was given to me by somebody's own sexual drive and desire for a child. And they should be executed. Kill them some bitches. Kill them. I don't care what anybody says. Sorry. I don't care. I really don't care. Well, it's not fair.
Yeah,
It's
some people.
Good.
I see some people trying to go against that death penalty thing that Ron DeSantis is going for in Florida, who approved it and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's kind of strange how some of the people say, "Well, you know, when the kids could get over it in a year or two." I'm like, "Yeah, really? You think a kid could get over being SA in a year or two?"
Here.
Do these people not understand the lasting repercussions? And they said, "Yeah, just think of the pain that the child abuser is going to have to go through if he gets the death penalty." I'm thinking about, what about the pain they inflicted upon us? What about the life sentence they gave us? You cannot change a lot of physical and mental damage that they had done. Some things just don't roll back after they cut you.
Yeah, let me cut your arm off. Let me cut your arm off and say you can have it back in 2 years when you're better, and that'll make and everything will be okay. You'll be over it, and you no longer have an arm, but you'll be okay. You'll get over it. You know, it'll only take a year or two. Come on now, where's the logic in that?
My SA, he cut me between my legs, but you know that. But it's like when the people say, well, the kid can get over it in a year or two. Excuse me?
Yeah.
If things do not go back, you do not get over it.
Yeah.
If you got lasting damage in your corpus side, where there's so much scar tissue and it can't be repaired, even if the doctor works 2 or 3 hours trying to remove scar tissue and it's like none have been removed. Excuse me, you can get over it in a year or two?
Come on, man.
Excuse me, a day or two was really bad. Excuse me?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's lasting damage that I have to live with to the day I die.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no joke about that. People just do understand.
Yeah, they don't. Inky, let's see that shirt. I want to see your shirt now.
And I'm so sorry that it happened to you and happened to your wife. And I'm sorry that the government and the sorry pieces of crap did not go by the law and do what the law should do of protecting children.
Yep. Like Oprah's Angel just said. She said,
witnesses to that happened, and that should have been good enough for the justice system.
Yep.
Witnesses, no matter if they got any of the, that there today.
Yeah.
A lot of these people will make a base and stuff where there isn't anything left to it. So they can't have the stuff on their bodies. You know what I'm saying there?
yep, I do. It's just like Oprah's Angel just said. She says the pain stays with the child forever, yet the predator walks with safety on our streets. Crazy, huh?
They got more rights than we do, and we're the bad ones.
Yep, it is. They do.
I think when I did the live on talking about the police still not doing nothing about that guy, I think that helped also the question about it,
Yeah.
But it's like after I went, it said this piece of crap is still out there, and when the people and kids drive by and the school bus passes it daily, that guy has to transport them. The kids are seeing them like the body when they go past that place.
Yeah. I got a special guest up on my panel real quick. I got a Inky Unplugged here, or Tainted Ink, aka Inky. Welcome to Get to Know Inky. I appreciate you coming up here and saying hi.
I
How are
can't.
you?
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yep, I can hear you. We can hear you.
I'm good. How are you?
Today I am good, ma'am. Today I am good.
That is awesome. Every day is a growing day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I can't stay
So
on
take
long because I'm in the process of making dinner, but I want you to see this shirt. I think you'll love it.
Okay, let me see. I'm excited.
Okay. Wait, there.
Let her
I don't
know
know if
we
you can
said
read the top part.
Oh, I can't read the top of it. What does the top say?
It
She
says she
doesn't
doesn't
want
want.
she doesn't want to kill everyone. Only she doesn't want to kill everyone. Only those. I think we froze up. I must be jamming my own internet signal. I don't know. You're frozen up, Inky. I'm gonna drop you down. I'll bring you back up real quick.
Only.
Yeah.
Only those who deserve to die.
So, bro, what's going to be your next step?
What's that?
Your next step is going to be getting some information out against cases in your area.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I got a couple different ideas. I would like to get some packets like sent out to schools. Like, I mean, that's a big project, but I don't know. I want to focus on getting some things changed around in our country. I mean, we just got to make a push to get in contact with whoever we need to about getting the laws changed, man. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be a work. It's going to be a chore. It's going to be a job. But I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it. And like Oba just said, she said, take action in the county you live in. Join the fight for our children. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you still here, Inky?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now. You got about as good as
Okay.
internet service as I got.
Oh, I didn't. I forgot to hook up to the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry.
Oh, there
Were you
go.
able to
See how you
read the
are?
shirt?
Nope, it froze. It froze. So we weren't able to see
Oh,
all
okay.
of it.
Hold on. Okay. So it says she doesn't want to kill everyone, only those who deserve to die. And then it's a little girl over here.
I want that
So
shirt.
I'm going to be making.
I want that shirt.
I'll make you one. I'll make you one.
That would be awesome.
I do screen
That would be
printing
awesome.
also.
Well, then I'll definitely be in contact with you because what's that, Darlene?
One of your nuns asked me, have we heard about gays against groomers?
I haven't.
I said, no, I haven't.
Did you happen to get a chance to read my message? If you have a problem with law enforcement or a judge, for you to go directly to the Attorney General's office and go with evidence in hand. Their job is to be basically your attorney to go against government organizations, for instance, like the sheriff's department. I had a judge removed for lack of due diligence, and I had a sheriff removed for lack of due diligence. And I did. I called the FBI. The FBI said, go to your attorney general. If they don't help you, then come to us. And that's what I did.
There you
And
go.
I became very good friends with the attorney general, and she worked with me to great lengths. And we discussed this on my channel about my daughter. So it is hard. It's tasking. It's mentally tormenting, but you have to do it to get through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not just be ready to have more crap thrown at you in your life than you've ever had before. Be ready to be people running you over with their buses, people putting spikes on them tires, trying to get you stuck down in the mud good and deep. It's got to be strong. That's why I say together we can do this. We can make a major impact in this country if we just stick together and we all, at the tops of our lungs, demand a change, man. That's what our future of our children deserve.
Yeah.
Like the thought of my kids having children and having grandchildren and me having grandchildren, I don't, it scares the hell out of me. I don't know if I can do it. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, but the way we are now, 20 years from now, it's going to be horrible.
I
Especially if we
have
don't do
4
something about it.
grandbabies, and I worry, like, it's the worst because you don't want it to happen again.
Yeah. Fortunately for me and for my wife and I, our kids, we have a 16-year-old son. Well, he's almost 17 now, but our son and a 14-year-old daughter who's almost 15. Neither one of them were victims of sexual abuse. We started talking to him real young about abuse and what was appropriate and what was not. Like my philosophy is as soon as that child no longer needs their mom or dad to clean their butt and they can use that toilet themselves, that's the perfect time to start teaching them what's appropriate and what can be touched and what can't be. Like nobody has the right to touch anybody in those spots unless they're, you know what I mean? So just that's what we did.
Exactly.
And I say here, I put the end of that cycle. My wife and I put an end to that cycle in our family anyway. And it really wasn't that hard to do. It just took a little bit of due diligence and it took a little bit of paying attention and it just took a little bit of educating. And look, my kids are golden, man. And that makes me feel so good. I lay my head down at night. And that's a sense of accomplishment for me. Like my biggest fear was my kids being sexually abused and then my kids getting my mental issues, you know what I mean? Getting passed down to them. So I fight every day to keep my kids safe. And that's what I'm going to do, continue to do.
And a lot of that, the mental issues is caused from the trauma. Like you probably
Absolutely.
wouldn't have a lot of those if it wasn't for that. So, like you said, I agree 1,000%. Like they expect victims to, just get over it. Oh, go to some counseling and you'll be fine. I've had to deal with this with the attorney general, and she'd be like, "It's fine, it's okay." And I'm like, it's not okay. Like I still have
Inky, can you speak up a little bit, sweetheart? Inky, can you speak up a little bit, sweetheart? They're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, I go through those trauma moments, and even with the attorney general, she's like, "But you're safe, you're fine. You need to stop worrying about it." I'm like, I can't,
Yeah,
because it doesn't go away. It doesn't.
yeah, it don't.
Mm-mm.
Just like I like to point out on anytime I do a live or whatever, we just hit the 1 hour and 3 minute mark. That means there in this 1 hour and 3 minutes that we've been live doing this, there's been 31 children who have been sexually abused in our country. In an hour and 3 minutes, 31 children have become victims of sexual abuse. Let that sink in for a minute, guys. It's ridiculous, guys. And we're sitting here, and there's people sitting here fighting and arguing about this and that, things that are totally irrelevant and pointless and just flat out stupid shit. And this is happening right around us every single day. Like I go to bed, the last thing on my mind is somebody's out there molesting or raping a child, man. The first thing when I wake up in the morning is how can I get this to stop? How can I make a difference in the world? And I never thought I was going to get so much opposition from people coming in, death threats, all kinds of stuff, man, calling me a pedophile, just all kinds. I never thought in a million years that I would get so much resistance from people. But you know what? I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere, man. Until my mission's
it makes you
complete.
question them.
Exactly.
Why do you not want me to fight for this? Exactly. Let me step down.
Okay.
I'm still listening.
That you don't get the same kind of things brought back on you since you're sticking out against pedophilia, and they try to say that you're a pedophile yourself. And that's what I said. They try to put that on us, just because they want us to shut up.
Yep. Like Opus Angel says, ask the question, how many didn't survive the abuse? I was reading about a case. I don't remember where it's at. I think it was in Alabama, or I think it was in maybe Illinois. I don't remember. There was a father who was in the courtroom, and he was being charged with murder because how do I say this? He choked his 6-week-old baby to death with his appendage, and the one that's located in between his legs. So that baby didn't survive the abuse. Nobody's out there screaming for justice for that baby. Nobody. What the?
Yeah, and while you're done, just says thank you, and please speak for those that can't hear, for those that can't help, to those that can't.
I will not stop. I don't care what anybody throws at me. I don't care what anybody says to me. I don't care how much resistance. Look, I'm a big dude. I weigh 260, okay? I weigh 260. I ain't going nowhere. Good luck pushing me around. I had enough of being bullied and pushed around when I was in elementary school and junior high. Guess what? When I got to high school, I said, hell with that. I'm not dealing with that no more. And I started sticking up for myself, and guess what? I like it. Come at me. Show the world what kind of person you really are. Show the world what kind of person you really are.
Exactly. And so many people try to say, like, there's some counselors that I had been with, and it was after I got my divorce, and so I moved to a different area, and I could not believe that new therapist who the state got me to see because they had Medicaid.
Yeah.
And she had told me that my daddy never did SA me, that I wanted him to do that. Boy, was I ticked off about that. For trying to say I wanted my dad to do these things that he did to me. That's bull crap. She said it never happened. I'm like, you weren't there.
You don't know?
You weren't there when I had all the surgeries and all this other kind of crap.
Yeah.
How do you know? How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? All I can say is, you know what I mean? Like my abuser, when I finally confronted my abuser and whatever, like I demanded an answer from him, and his answer he gave me is pretty messed up answer, but it was what I wanted. I wanted him to take some kind of accountability for what he did to me. And after about 45 minutes on the phone, screaming at him and just telling, you know what, quit lying, quit denying it, quit lying to yourself. He replied to me, well, I never did anything to you that you didn't want me to do. Okay, that's pretty effed up. That's pretty effed up. But it worked for me. It worked for me because then he took accountability. He took accountability, even though he tried putting it off on me. He still admitted to doing something to me. So that worked for me. But how dare you? Like, the things I can't even say it because we're on your blog talk, and I don't want to get you banned on your first day, Darlene. Because you know me, you know me, sister. You know I can spew some shit, man. So, do you know the people around your children? Pretty well. How much do you trust the people around your children? Pretty well. I just don't let my kids go run off with strangers and shit. Like that's never happened. That's never going to happen. And parents shouldn't do that anyway. Like I know who my daughter's hanging out with. I know who my son's hanging out with. I know their parents. I know where they're going to be. And that's it. And yes, I get first and last names and ages, and I do background checks on every single one of them. What, babe? Phone numbers, addresses, cars. Like I've got, yeah. I mean, like they can call me Agent 000. You know, because I'm doing my research. I don't just let my kids just blindly walk away with people. So and parents do it all the time. And it's not the strangers you really got to worry about too much. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got to worry about them, but it's the family members, it's the friends of the family members, it's just people that you're around every single day are more likely they're going to be the ones that are going to be sexually violating people, man. Beware of the surroundings for your children. Also, cameras are everywhere in the world today. Yep, they are. Yep, they are.
Exactly, and that's what your dad just said. So they're saying the child wants it. Yep, that's bullcrap.
Yep, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. Like, to me, I look at these sex acts and these parasites that do these things, and they are, to me, they're worse than murderers. I gotta relive my abuse every single day of my life. It's something that I wish I could just let go of, but I can't. I really wish I could, but I can't. I really wish I could, but I can't. Let me cut your arm off and say, just let it go.
I have cousins who, even though they know the brunt of some of the stuff that happens, they still think that I need to make peace with my sisters and everything. But I don't need to make peace with people that are toxic. The people that still says I should look at my parents, these pedophiles that raped me, that sold me to child pornography, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to look at my parents as heroes. And no, it's not up to me to make amends with toxic people in my life. It's up to me to keep the fear away from toxic people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I kind of look at it like this. If you haven't been sexually abused, then maybe you should probably not be telling me how to deal with my abuse, because it's kind of like going to drug rehab. You know what I mean? Like, go to drug rehab and you find out that none of these people have ever done a drug in their life, and the only thing they know about a drug is from what they read in a book. Like, how can you speak about something you don't know about? You can't tell me how addiction is if you haven't been an addict. You can't tell me how it is to be an asshole unless you're an asshole. I mean, that's the reality of it. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, for real. Like, pull your heads out and let's get some stuff done, you guys. I'm so over this. I'm so over this drama bullshit on YouTube and here and everywhere in real life. I am so over it. I got bigger and better things I want to do. I got like this. What this get to know community is trying to do is bigger than any single one of us. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than Opa. It's bigger than Inky. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us, you guys. What my visions are, it's bigger than all of us, man. And it's got to be done, or I'm dropping an F-bomb right here. F-bomb. You know what I mean? If we don't do something now, we're F-bombed.
And we need to make sure that, there are so many people where they're like, turn their backs on it. It's none of my business. It's none of my business. Excuse me, you might be the person's last hope of survival. When you're out in public, if you see this kid being scooped up or taken away, I'm just coming back and let this kid be taken or whatever,
Right.
Oh, if you see the kid all of a sudden get backhanded and the kid flies across the room, it's none of my business, whatever. Excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah.
That made it your business once they get that kind of act in front of you.
Yeah. Like, I had a buddy. I'm gonna show it on my channel real quick, but I know that you guys won't be able to see it over there on Darlene's channel. But a friend of mine sent me this video last night, and or this clip last night, and when I seen it, like, I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. It's not nothing like gross, but it's the people in it, like, they call themselves humans. And I'll explain the video. I'll explain the video to you guys on Darlene's side as it goes along. But let me find it here. But I don't know if he sent it to me. He didn't send it to me. Damn it. Anyway, this video.
And, so many people say whatever happens in the home is just the people's business. No.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people that are being SA, it's from their own family, as you said earlier,
Yeah. Oh, I do have it. I do have it. So now check this out, okay? This is, you know how they do those hidden camera things where they'll be like, you know, try to go mess with somebody or whatever and whatnot. But check this one out. Let me see here.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Watch it. Watch it. Look at this. They're just smiling. Dude just keeps like, oh, I just seen that. And are you kidding me, people? Oh, he finally says something when he gets confronted. Right in front of that lady. Look at her. And she just keeps right on walking. But if you see somebody walking down the street and he, I don't know, spits on the ground, you call the cops on him. This video literally depicted 3 child kidnappings in public in broad daylight with a man coming up behind a child with a rag in his hand and grabbing a child and running off with his child in front of these people, and none of them did a damn thing. Everybody in that video?
Seriously?
Oh yeah, seriously. I'll send it to you on Messenger. I'll send it to you on Messenger right now, Darlene, so you can show it on your side, okay?
All right.
Yeah. Here we go. It's sending right now. Now, here's what's really messed up. My buddy also sent me this. My buddy also sent me this video clip. Okay. Oh my God.
So do you think a 12-year-old should be?
Okay, so so this guy says, so do you think a 12-year-old should be, is how it starts, okay? Now check it, listen to what he got to say.
The consent to sex with an adult? I think that different people mature at different rates. Everyone would agree with that. Let's ask that question again, though. Okay, if I may. Absolutely. Do you think any 12-year-old can consent to sex with an adult? It doesn't sound good, but a mature adult that understands the concept of consent. Why should we limit someone by their age? I think a 12-year-old can consent to sex with an adult. That's horrid. That's what we call rape.
I can't even.
What's that, Darlene?
My end, okay? So, I had to mute yours for a second, if you will,
Okay.
so the people over here.
Yep.
Well, I hope that they'll be able to hear it.
Exactly.
And the kid was screaming too, crying his fist. And look at the people laughing and smiling.
Yep.
Have we become a country where we're so heartless?
A world, not a country, Darlene. A world. As the human race,
Yeah,
as the human race has become heartless and don't care about anything besides themselves, man. Except for I know this person that just gave.
Jezebel's spirit is now proudly standing in the public.
Ask that question again.
It doesn't sound good, but I'm really wrong. I understand the concept of consent. Why should we limit someone by their age?
12-year-old is not a mature adult.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that. Could y'all hear that?
Crazy, huh?
Could y'all hear that? On my end?
Yeah.
Do you all hear that?
We did on our side, yep, Darlene.
Okay, I was hoping that on my end. I got 3 watchers over here. And please let them know if anybody wants to come and do their story on my blog talk. Feel free to notify you to get in touch with me too.
I will. I was just getting ready to throw your book out there. You got 2 books. The one is not Darlene's fault. It's so expensive. It's just something that Amazon and whoever else did. But she has a book that she wrote. It's her story, part of her story. It's called Shattered Innocence. Please, please, please support my sister Darlene. Go check out her book, read it, and learn a little bit. Subscribe to her channel. Opa, can you look up Darlean J. Clark, please, and drop her link in the channel? Will you drop Inky's link on the in the chat as well? You can drop your link in the chat too if you want. Please drop my sister Stepher's chat in the drop, or drop my sister Stepher's link in the chat as well, please, if you would. If you could do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I hated having to go up on the price of my book, but when they were starting to they went up on the prices, and so I was only getting 56 cents per book.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And out of the $9.99, I just get 56 cents.
Wow. Because I had somebody ask me about your first book you wrote, and she ended
That
up.
was Born in a Living Hell.
Yep.
And I stopped the publication of it, and because they had ripped me a pump and people were buying it, and I wasn't getting paid for it, so I stopped the publication. So now it's considered, since it's my very first book, as a collector's item. So some people that had bought it previously, which I don't get none of the proceeds, but that is not my fee or nothing like that. That is people that bought the book prior and selling it for over $100-something. Okay.
Wow.
You can go validate it at YouTube. I mean at Amazon. You can go validate what I'm saying. You know, Darlean Clark.
Oopsie.
Darlean J. Clark, J. Nickname Jeannie, Jeanette. That's what the J said for a little bit of information.
Oopsie. But
Yeah.
Darlene's got one hell of a story, you guys. She's been through the ringer. She's been through it all. I gotta take this call. Hang on a second.
All right.
Hello? You could definitely be low on refrigerant for sure. That's probably the problem. I just lost it again. I'll call him back. My brother-in-law's having problems with his air conditioner, so I know a little bit about air conditioning, so he calls me. But yeah, oh, I'm gonna mute this for a second. I gotta send a message. Sorry, guys. Personal stuff's going on too. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying, Darlene? Go ahead.
I said, what words of inspiration would you tell others to say some parting things to inspire people to not lose hope and to tell about what guidance would you give them if they're living in this kind of situation and they don't know what to do? What kind of advice would you give them?
Let's see. The first thing I'd say is education. Educate. If you don't want your child to become a victim of sexual abuse, they need to know about what sexual abuse. Unfortunately, they need to know what sexual abuse is from a very young age. I mean, take me for instance. I mean, I was just barely 5 years old when it started happening, and I didn't have any idea about any of it. Talk to your children early. Tell them what's appropriate. Let them know. Even include yourself. Like you're a big kid now, so mom and dad no longer need to change your butt and clean you. That's your job. So nobody's allowed to touch you in these places. Tell them that, and keep telling them that. That's the first thing I'd say is talk to your children, know what your children are doing, and talk to them from a very young age. Secondly, if a child comes to you and tells you, if they're between the ages of 5 and under, if they come to you and tell you that they're being sexually abused, you believe that child. There's less than a 0.2% chance that that child is lying at that age about being sexually abused. If you have been a victim of sexual abuse, tell somebody. Speak up. Come to the Get to Know channel. Let somebody know in chat. Let's come talk to us. That's what we're here for. We're here to support people who have been victimized and to change the way the laws and penalties are. If you're a parent of a child who's been sexually abused and you're struggling with that, because I'm sure it is a struggle. Fortunately, my wife and I don't have to deal with that. But there's people out there that can help you get through this. It's not going to be easy for the rest of your life. Trust and believe that. Even for a parent to know that their kid has been sexually abused, it's going to take a toll on them for the rest of their lives. I mean, I told my parents when I was 16, 17 years old, and my parents still carry around this guilt about what happened to me. My daughter was from the age of 1 to 3, and when she spoke up, it ended. We made sure that. Absolutely beautiful. Today, Inky Unplugged today is my hero of the day, especially her daughter. Like, that's amazing. If you ever need to talk on a personal level, Inky, I'll get you my number sometime and whatever, and my wife and I will always be here to talk. And that's, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you put a 28 in the chat if you can hear me, please? Can't hear me.
Also, teach them that hand signal too that you do, like you go to 5 and then you put your thumb in and then you close your hand up over something like that. That's a hand signal that.
This one, you guys.
Need to know.
Remember this right here. If you ever see somebody do this, simple. It means they need help. Don't be afraid to stand up for somebody. If you see them, go like this, you guys. Extremely important. Extremely important. Okay? Don't be...
Follow at a safe distance if you're afraid and call the police with 911.
Right. But I'm sure, I mean, I seen a video the other day. Well, it's been a while back now. That this couple was at the mall and they noticed this girl was with this older guy and she just looked uncomfortable. You can tell if a kid is uncomfortable, if somebody's uncomfortable, and she was sitting there standing by him and she kept going like this off to her side behind her. And they seen it and they ran a distraction. They knew that they couldn't wait for the police and they went down there and took action upon themselves and they got that little girl out of there. One of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And that's what this world's lacking is more people are like, just like that kidnapping video we just showed. Like people are not willing to get involved with this kind of stuff. And it makes me sick to my stomach. You're welcome, Inky.
Yeah.
Anytime you need to talk, it don't matter. We'll be here for you for sure.
Yeah, my friends, I said hello on your channel too. Let them know that I care, love them as well.
I'm pretty sure they just heard you, so there you go. My sister Darlene says that she's here for support for you guys too. Anybody that needs to, you guys can get a hold of Darlene. Her chat was dropped. Or her link was dropped in the chat. So please sub up to her. And remember, everybody, keep your heads up. Keep your eyes open. Stay vigilant. Don't be scared to stand up for what you see. Or even if it turns out to not be serious, nobody can blame you for trying. Because it could have been serious. I mean, really. So, don't be afraid if you see something, say something. 100%. 100%, Inky. Anyway, hour and 32 minutes. An hour and 32 minutes. There have been 46 children during this time frame that have been sexually abused by somebody they know or a stranger. Let that sink in. Remember, everybody, this is Get to Know. We're trying to make a difference in this world. We only get stronger as we grow. The more people we have, the louder our voice gets, the more likely it's going to be that they can't ignore us forever, you guys. Keep your heads up. Keep your eyes open. Stay together as one. Listen. Keep your eyes open, man. That's the most important thing I can say. Keep your eyes open and pay attention. Say hi to my grandson. It's my grandson. And I just wove him. 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 And I 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 wove him. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, just wove him. Wove him. Wove him. Wove him. Wove him.
Yeah, you gotta have a digit too.
Yeah, he is. He's a camera freak. He really is. He's always around. Like I'll go. He knows when I'm getting my laptop put up and bring it in the kitchen, put on. He knows it's about to happen. He's got to get his way on the camera. So, this is Get to Know. I appreciate everybody being here and taking time out of your personal life to come and listen to me and my sister and the stories that people have. Let's stay together. Let's take care of business, you guys. Let's quit pussyfooting around, as people would say, and let's get shit done, man.
Yes. And I want to thank you so much for being brave enough to come and be my first on this new channel on Blogtalk that I have.
Absolutely.
And just thank you for being a survivor and an advocate for children.
No, not so much as children. People, hang on, sister. Hang on, sister. I got to clear this up, okay? People keep on misconstruing that. I am not an advocate for children, okay? I'm not, okay? Let's not get that twisted, okay? People are getting it twisted out there, and it's really getting me upset. I am an advocate to get the laws and penalties changed when it comes to childhood sexual abuse and the parasites that commit these crimes. I advocate to get those laws and penalties changed to much stricter and harsher sentences to hopefully deter these parasites from doing what they're doing. There are plenty of advocates out there for children and people who have been sexually abused. My hat goes off to them for that. Really does. That's not what I'm doing. I can't do that. That's not me. That's not what I'm doing here. So Please understand that I'm not an advocate for children, but I am an advocate to get the laws and penalties changed against childhood sexual abuse and the parasites that commit these crimes. That's what I advocate for. That's what I'm an advocate for, right there. Sorry, I just had to put that out there.
Right.
So,
But in all fairness, respect, bro, whenever you're doing that to get the laws changed, you're still advocating for the safety of children.
yes, yes. But unfortunately, there's some people out here on YouTube that want to twist that and say, well, you want this guy to be... No, I wouldn't want me to be an advocate for my child, for children either. Like, I got a mouth on me. I did really good today about not swearing. So, you know, I love you, Darlene, on that part, okay? Like, I did really good. I think I said maybe 11 swear words and no F-bombs. No F-bombs, you guys. Mark that down in history. I think this is the longest time in my, like, since I was like 10 years old that I'd never, this is the longest time period I went besides when I was sleeping that I didn't drop an F-bomb. So I take my hat off to myself for that one. And pat myself on the back for that one.
I do too. Thank you. Thank you so much, bro. You know I love y'all.
You know I love you too, Darlene. And thanks for having me up as your guest on your channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, talk to you later.
Okay, love you, Darlene.
Love you too.
Bye. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. This is Get to Know. You know what we're about here. You know what we want to do. Stand up, say something, see something, say something. Remember the signal. Remember the signal, guys. If you see somebody doing that, do something. Say something. Make it aware. Okay? Do something. Say something. Yes. Please share this channel with everyone. Share Darlene's channel with everyone wherever you go. This is Get to Know. You know what we're about. I love each and every one of you. I'm going to give a shout out. Opus Angels, you know you're great. My sister Debs A, I wish you would have stuck around. I understand you're in the United Kingdom and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there. I love you. You are important. You are a big part of what Get to Know is about. And you're needed here, okay? Just remember that, okay? She said she's going to go back and watch this tomorrow, so I hope she gets that message. You know I love you, sister. You know that. I want to say personally, I thank everybody that was here today for no drama, no bullshit. Just flat out, plain and simple, what we're about here, what we're trying to do here. Inky Unplugged. Inky Unplugged. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. I really appreciate it. Steffers, you know I love you. I'll see you in the morning. Check out Steffers' channel too. I'll be doing an interview with her tomorrow morning, or she'll be doing an interview with me, or either way, I'll be on her channel doing an interview with her about me, or you know how it goes. Sugar Ladder, my love of my life, my savior, my rock of Gibraltar, my everything, baby. I love you. Thanks for keeping my head in the right place. Thanks for the guidance, and thanks for supporting me in what I'm doing. You know more than anybody else how hard I struggle with this, and you probably are the second biggest key factor of why I'm doing this. Just falling short of me, because that's why for me, that's why I started this. But this is not about me anymore. This is about all of us and the future of our children. And without you, Jennifer, I wouldn't be doing this. It wouldn't be possible. Please, everybody, put some purple hearts in the chat real quick for my wife, to show support for her. She really does deal with a lot for me. No, I don't abuse her. I don't yell and scream at them. I've never hit my wife a day one time in my life. I wanted to once, but I never did. Without her support, this absolutely would not be possible. So, my children, I love both of you guys with all my heart. I would kill for you. Debs A, you know I love you, sweetheart. You know I love you. Just going to give a shout out to a couple more people here. Warrior Nun, even though you weren't over here, you're over at my sister's channel. That's great. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching and being here. Who else do I need to mention, babe? Jackie fucking Cunningham. You know I love you. I know you'll watch this later. Jackie fucking Cunningham. Much love. Team Rose. All children safe, happy, and healthy. We object to bullshit. You all know that. It matters. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. I appreciate it. James Chapman. Thank you for being here for the third time. I really appreciate the support. Keep coming back, and we will build a huge community that is so strong that nobody will be able to deny us. To the 5 people watching in the pig pen, don't. Beyond the Terror, sweetheart, if you're out there, I don't know what's going on. I haven't gotten any of your notifications. I don't know if you got shut down on YouTube again. Please get a hold of me. I'm really worried about you. I haven't seen any of your stuff for a while. I care about you. You know that. Please get a hold of me. To the 5 people in the pig pen, don't be scared. Come and join. Everybody's welcome for the most part. There's a few people that'll never be welcome here. I'm pretty sure they know who they are. This is Get to Know. Remember, one child is one too many. And are you ready for it? Tell your friends about me because they're going to want to know. Thanks, guys. I love all you guys. Have a good night.